Number 48. A large sample of students at Newburgh High School took an IQ test, and it was first reported that the mean score was 100 and the standard deviation was 15. However, an error was found in the scoring, and the corrected IQ score is found by taking each individual score and adding 2 and then multiplying it by 1.12. Find the mean and standard deviation of the corrected IQ scores. So, whenever you have means and standard deviations, so in this case our mean is 100 and our standard deviation is 15. Let me draw my mean sign a little bit better. There. So our mean is 100 and our standard deviation is 15. Basically, our means will react to adding and multiplying, but our standard deviations will only react to multiplying. So to think about this, think about for means. Let's say you had a bunch of coins, but they're not real coins, they're like points in a game. So let's say you had one that was worth 2 points, one that was worth 3 points, one that was worth 7 points, and that's all we need to do. So let's say I took all of these and I added 1 point to the point value. So if I added 1, these are all going to just increase by 1. So it'll be 3 points, 4 points, and 8 points. So if I found the mean of both of these sets, the mean of the left hand, 2, 3, and 7, so 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 7 is 12, so the mean of that would be 4. And then for the one on the right, 3 plus 4 is 7, plus 8 is 15, so the mean of this set would be 5. So in other words, if you add a constant to all the terms in your set, the mean will increase by that same amount. So if you take the mean, if you take all your data points and add 2 to them, like is in the problem, so let's see. Yes, the corrected IQ score is found by taking each individual score and adding 2. So we're going to go to 102, and then we'll multiply it by 1.12. So multiplying will also, if you multiply each data point by the same number, it's going to multiply the mean by that same number. So think about it this way. Say you had a bunch of lengths of yarn, for example, and you had one that was 3 feet long, one that was 5 feet long, one that was 6 feet long. Let's say you wanted to find out what the mean of these were in inches. So if you wanted to find the mean in inches, you would have 36 inches, and then 60 inches, and then 72 inches. Effectively, you're just multiplying all your numbers by the same number, or 12. So the mean on the left, I didn't pick as good of numbers this time, but let's see, 3 plus 5 is 8, plus 6 is 14, so our mean would be 14 over 3. And then 36 plus 60 is 90, plus 72 is 162, divided by 3, that's 56. So if you notice, we multiplied everything by 12, and then the mean also was multiplied by 12, from 14/3 to 56. So if we multiply all of our IQs by 1.12, that's also going to multiply the mean by 12, or by 1.12, sorry. So we take 102, multiply by 1.12, so we get a new mean of 114.24. There we go. So now for our standard deviations. So the standard deviation is just the measure of how far apart your data points are. So if all of your data points were exactly the same, you would have a standard deviation of 0 because there is no distance between those points and the mean, because they are the mean. So if you add the same amount, so let's say you just had a set and it was all 3s. It was all 3s. And then you added 2 to each of them, so 5, 5, 5. The distance between those numbers and the mean aren't going to change because the mean changed the same amount as all the numbers. Remember, whenever we added 2 to our mean, it also increased all the points by 2. So we added 2 to all of these points, which previously had a mean of 3, and then ended up with a mean of 5. And so by adding, it doesn't change the standard deviation. So after adding 2, our standard deviation is still going to be 15. Now, whenever you multiply by 1.12, there's a different story. Whenever you multiply, it's actually going to affect the standard deviation in the same way that it affects the mean. So, to get our standard deviation, we just take 15 and multiply it by 1.12. 15 times 1.12. So we get a new standard deviation of 16.8. So our standard deviation is 16.8, and that is answer choice C. All right, so if you have any questions from other tests, make sure to leave a comment, and I'll make a video with the solution. With that said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe. This has been Investigative Math, and I'll see you next time.